Hello, I am Genevieve and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is technically my first YouTube video on this particular channel. I actually have two other YouTube channels, but they're not manifesting focused. But I will link the other two channels that I have in case you're curious about me and my history on YouTube. But I decided to make this manifesting channel just about law of assumption and manifestation because I wanted to give really specific content to a specific group of people who are trying to manifest or having trouble to manifest or just want more information and understanding on manifestation, and in particular the law of assumption. And even though this is technically my first manifestation video on YouTube, I have been a manifestation coach for about a year now professionally, and I have been primarily on Instagram. So if you're interested in looking at all of the various Instagram content that I have posted over the last year, I will link that account to Instagram down below. There's a lot of good stuff on Instagram, but I thought, you know what, it's high time we go to YouTube because I can talk a lot and I have a lot to say about things, and YouTube is a better platform for making longer videos. So here we are. Also below in the description box, I will put the link for if you would like to book a one-on-one coaching session with me. I have a lot of clients who get so much out of doing one-on-one coaching. And yeah, so if you're interested in that, please check that out. So that's all the things, I think. So let's jump into the video today, which is about the difference between trying to manifest versus actually genuinely manifesting. Because it's very common, especially for people who are relatively new to the law of assumption and manifestation. They find out, all the tips and tricks in terms of the techniques that we do and, the typical cliche things we say over and over again, like everyone is you pushed out and circumstances don't matter and ignore the 3D. And, all those things just become like sound bites in your head, and you're trying to piece it all together and try to manifest. And often for people who are stuck in the loop of trying to manifest and they're not really seeing any results, it's because they are still coming at manifestation from like a 3D focused paradigm where it's like, okay, I'm going to do something to get something. That's a very 3D way of thinking. Like if I just do XYZ, it will give me a result. So I'm going to do some work, and that work is going to produce a result. So that's very like 3D matter on matter kind of thinking. Manifestation, unfortunately, is a God thing. It's a spiritual law that has a lot of paradoxes to it, honestly, which can of course confuse people. And it's not done through action. It's not done through the technique itself. And I'm sure many of you watching this have already heard that. Like, it's not the techniques that manifest, it's what the techniques do to you. It's how the techniques are actually helping you to have a genuine shift in your state that causes a manifestation, not you just repeating something a million times and then because you did the work, then you see the 3D give it to you or whatever. That's not how this works. And so that's why a lot of people get frustrated. A lot of people end up being in even more suffering over this thing or this person they're trying to manifest than they were before they even came into this, because they feel gypped, they feel owed, they feel like they are just frustrated, like they tried to do something that they didn't get the thing they were promised because they did the process, or so they thought, and then nothing happened or whatever. So the major thing, again, that I see in this is if you're stuck in that loop of trying to manifest and you're feeling quite bitter about it, even probably where you've been trying for a long time and you're like, well, I don't have any results. And your ego likes to think, well, it's not me that's doing it wrong. It's this law of assumption thing. It must be wrong because it would have worked by now. And it's a very egoic thing. And I see a lot of people go through that stage. I myself went through that stage. I'll just say that, put that out there. Like after I first discovered law of assumption, this is why I'm a pretty good coach and I can talk about these nuances, is because I went through all the things that I see my clients go through where you discover this. It is very simple, but just because it's simple doesn't mean it's easy. So you discover this very simple thing and you're like, oh my God, I could get what I want if I just affirm, or if I just like put my focus there enough in a very positive way, it'll just magically, click into place or whatever. And anyway, there's so many things that happened to me, which I'll hit in different videos. But the one obviously we're talking about today is that it's like I became more concerned about doing it right, like doing the process right, than I was about my genuine self. And so my genuine self concept, and what I see in a lot of people as well, went down after I started trying to manifest, because I got so caught up in like, oh, I just want to do it right. I just want to do the process right. I just want to make sure I get it and make sure it happens. And it became all about like, how do I do it to make it happen? And that's, again, a very 3D way of thinking, where it's like, I'm going to do something to get something. So I want to do it right. I want to be a good girl and get a good grade, make sure I do it right to get something. But the way that kind of approach, it creates a state of being in you, because remember, unless you're brand new, I guess I shouldn't say remember, if you're brand new to this, it's your state of being, your genuine state of being that manifests results. It's not what you did to get something. It's like, what is what you're doing genuinely doing to you to help you switch states, to get into a different frame of mind, a different state of being, a different energy, a different vibration, whatever you want to call it. I don't like to use law of attraction speak, which is like the vibration stuff, but technically vibration and state of being are pretty much the same thing, but it's just different semantics to describe kind of a similar idea. So anyway, I go on a lot of tangents, so I hope you're following me, but I think you get it at this point, that trying to do something to get something is not going to work. And the more that you try to do something to make something happen, it affects your genuine state of being in a negative way, because you become, how do I put it? It's like you become someone in a state of self-abandonment. You actually can become even more of the chaser in your manifestation energy, the way you're being pushed out, because you're just trying so hard to make it happen. You're trying. And it's just chaser vibes, or whatever you want to call it. Because also I'm assuming a lot of you are manifesting SPs, but it doesn't even matter if it's an SP or money or the perfect body or health or family life, social life, like career. It doesn't matter what it is. If you are like chasing it, like you're trying to get it to come to you, and you're just like fixated on like that thing is going to make me feel better and I need to get it. And you're in that like almost like an anxious desperation for like, okay, I've got to get that. That kind of energy, if you're manifesting from that state of being, or attempting to manifest, I should say, and you're not being honest with yourself, you're not really being aware about who you're genuinely being. What are you genuinely embodying towards this person or towards this thing you're trying to manifest? If you're not really aware of that, then the practice you're doing in terms of whatever techniques you're doing or whatever you're trying to learn could accidentally support that anxious state or that chaser state even more. So this is what I mean by, how is your practice, the thing that you're trying to do, how is it genuinely affecting you? How is it genuinely changing your state? Is your practice making you feel even worse about yourself? Is it making you feel even more anxious about the 3D? Is it making you even more impatient about, where is my manifestation? It's supposed to be here. I've been doing this for like 2 weeks. What's going on? If that's the effect that your practice is having on you, then you're coming at it from the wrong state of mind. You're also maybe not doing the right techniques for you. But there's a lot to really pause and look at and be honest with yourself and be like, okay, my genuine state of being right now, as I manifest this person or thing, is I feel even more like I don't have it. I feel like it is far away from me. I feel very impatient about it. And remember, if that's the state of being you're in, you are in this now moment in a state of being that says, I don't have it. I feel impatient about it. I feel worried about it. I'm going to affirm more because I'm so effing worried. If that's what you're doing, it's all just feeding off of its own self. If you try to add in a technique into that, it's all just like, it's just feeding the anxious lack state, whatever you want to call it, is using it's almost hijacking your manifestation practice and bringing you even lower in your self-concept and even farther from your manifestation. So anyway, I bring this up as my first video because it's very, very common. I see it a lot where people, they discover law of assumption, manifestation, as I said, and they get even more chasery and anxious and impatient, and they feel owed. And again, if feeling owed or entitled is also a lack state, because again, any state that is a state of I don't have this, anything that's a version of I don't have it and I'm entitled to it, I don't have it and I'm owed it, like all of that is, again, it's just simply I don't have it. And that's what you need to address. So here we go. To genuinely manifest, you obviously need to be in your own self, because you are the operant power. You are the one who is having a genuine experience of what you've decided is true about you. That is what manifests. What you have decided is genuinely true about you, true for you, and true for your life. All these rules that you as the operant power have made, that is what manifests. And it's also, of course, what manifests different patterns and different, just everything in your life comes from you deciding what's possible, what's true, what is likely. It's all just you deciding things all the time, all the time. Obviously, as you know, most of you know, you are manifesting 24 hours a day, very automatically. You can't turn off your power as a creator because you are a living conscious being. So every conscious, alive moment that you have, you are keeping in momentum what you believe is true about you. So to manifest a different outcome, you need to gain some momentum in believing something different. And so to use the SP example, since that's very common, very popular, if you're trying to manifest a specific person, what you need to step into is a genuine comfort, a genuine conviction, a genuine belief that you and that person already have this amazing love together, that there's no beef between you, there's nothing weird, there's nothing in the way, it's just a good relationship. And so tap into, okay, if I really believed that, how would that genuinely feel? But here's the thing, it's not that you need to go deep into like the feelings of love or the feelings of, love, I guess. I mean, you will naturally tap into that, but that's not necessarily the thing that manifests. What really manifests is your genuine conviction. And what that means is like that you are just sure, like you are sure that this thing is for you, this person is for you, this relationship is a done deal. You are just sure about it. That is the thing that really manifests. The more very confident, convicted, and sure you are about something or someone, the easier it comes to you. But the more you're like, oh, I'm not sure, I'm kind of in doubt, and I really wish it would show up because then maybe it would prove to me that I can have it or I do have it, but I'm really not sure until I see it. That obviously doesn't manifest very well. So getting into that state of genuine conviction, like I said, it's natural to feel the love. But when I say like, how would it feel to already have, this relationship that you want, you can even refer to other people in your life if you want to, in terms of people that you easily regard as like, yeah, me and that person, me and my best friend, or me and my mom, or me, like you and whoever, we have a great relationship and I don't really have to think about it because I just trust them. I love them. There's nothing weird between us. We got a great thing going on. Whoever it is that you could imagine, if you don't have an example yet in your life, because I get it, some people don't even have an example of that yet in their life. Imagine just what that would feel like to just have an easy naturalness between you and another person. And then, of course, adding in the specific things that you want, that, if it's you and your specific person, who I'm assuming might be a romantic relationship, you're going to assume, yeah, we're very committed to each other. We have great communication. We're really, in a happy, healthy, stable, monogamous relationship. Whatever specific thing that you want, you are just going to naturally practice assuming that. But again, you have to genuinely believe this on your own with no proof, no permission. Nobody's given you permission except you, because you're the operant power. You're the only one who gives you permission. So if you are kind of like, I don't really think I could do that, or I don't really it seems so unlikely or whatever. It's like, then that's what you're going to get if that's what you're in. So your job is to practice it being natural and feeling that natural conviction, knowing that you are the operant power. You're the only one that decides, the only one that is making a decision about this, that is the one you need permission from. It's literally just you. You are the only one that gives you permission on it. And when you really trust that, it becomes so easy to manifest everything. Like, honestly, if I could I'll probably make another video about this, but if I could give everyone one thing, it's the absolute total trust that you really are the operant power, that there really is no other force working against you or telling you you can't have certain things. There truly is not. And the deeper I get into this in my own journey, the more I see how absolutely true that is. It's this whole life of yours is just you against you this entire time. And so the more you can get very aligned or congruent within yourself, where you're so self-accepting, so self-trusting, and you really know, yeah, I'm the operant power. I'm the only one that says yes or no to any experience. And you also know that you don't need the 3D to prove it to you. The 3D has no power. The 3D is a dead old reality. It's all the collection of other things we've manifested in the past and created in the past. And it's always going to be behind you because of that. It's never going to go ahead of you and give you permission to believe. It's always going to follow behind you. You are the head of the train. You are always the engineer of the train, and everything else is behind you. So when you really know that, and you really trust that and embody that, you don't need the stuff behind you, 3D that's following you so much to validate you anymore, because you're like, okay, yeah, I know it's going to catch up eventually. I don't really need it. It's like, I just know I'm the operant power. I know eventually it's going to catch up. I can't say how and when. That's the thing that we cannot control per se, although I'll probably make another video about, things about that. But really the most important thing is to be so genuinely trusting of yourself and knowing that just your simple conviction and your persistence in that conviction, because that's the thing also, that people, they're not really persisting. They delude themselves they're persisting. They're not. That'll be another video. But anyway, that is really the difference. I really want you to get that between trying to manifest because you want to get something from the 3D. You think the 3D still has the power. The 3D has the experience you want. You don't really trust or like or believe in yourself enough to know that your own experience of it is enough. You think the 3D is where it's at. And so you're trying so hard to get it. You're like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it right. I'm going to be a good girl and get the process right and get an A+, and then my manifestation will be delivered to me. And it's going to exhaust you. It's going to burn you out to do it that way. But really, you come over here in my air world where I'm doing different things with different sides of the screen. You're going to come over here and realize it's all just me. It's all within me, in my consciousness. So if I genuinely and honestly address my own consciousness and I take care of myself in a very genuine way, that means totally loving yourself, totally accepting yourself, no matter what you think, what you feel. You are not bothered by it because you are very good at refocusing and persisting in your new conviction. Again, the things I just said there about not being threatened by self, that'll also be another video. I'm reminding myself of so many videos. But genuinely taking care of your state, that is what is going to manifest, because it's your genuine shift into a new state where you really do have a convicted belief that you have this person or you have this thing already. That is where the magic happens. So I hope this video was helpful for you today, that it made sense. And please, as I said before, you can check out all the links below. My Instagram, I don't even think I said the handle. It's Manifest with Genevieve. The same title as this YouTube channel. And yeah, if you want to book a session with me, that is also below. We can get really deep into your specific situation, see what might be going on inside of you that we can talk about and address. And yeah, so I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.